Hey guys, in our last video, we walked you through footings, foundation walls, mud sill, sill tape and mud sill, okay? Most of the time, as you can see, this is obviously not a house. A viewer made a comment that, hey, we need to let you know that this isn't concrete, but it should be. It absolutely would be. This is just a model, so this isn't perfect. This is just material that we had laying around the job site. But we want you to understand, and so I'm not going to build you an entire house right now. We will be doing that in about 2 months, and I'll walk you through it step by step. Typically, your mud sill will actually be a 2x6 pressure treated board. Again, we're just using material we had laying around the job site, so this is a 2x4, which is totally fine for what we're building. Your mud sill, again, is a 2x6 board that's going to go around the entire perimeter of the house. It is absolutely of utmost importance that you get your mud sill perfectly level. The way that we do this is we use a transient rotary level. Ours is made by Milwaukee. I think it's around $1,200. If that's out of your price range, you can rent one of these for 50 bucks from a local tool store. The code's pretty straightforward on placement of your J-bolts and your anchor bolts. But before you actually fasten, the absolute best way to make sure that your project is square is you're going to measure corner to corner. And so right here, we're at 67 5/16, okay? Then you're gonna come to this corner here and you're gonna measure. And look at that, we're at 67 5/16. It's almost like we spent some time squaring this up. If that number is off, let's say that this was 67 3/4 and this was 67 1/4, we have a 1/2 inch difference. So that means that we're gonna wanna shift this about 1/4 of an inch. So whatever the distance difference is, take that and cut it in half, and you'll have to shift that to make it square. After you have it square, you're going to go ahead and you're gonna bolt down your mud sill, and you're gonna make it super tight so that this thing is rock solid and it's not gonna move. The next thing that you have to do is you have to install your rim joists. Rim joists are similar to the mud sill in the sense that it's going to go around the entire perimeter of the building. If you spent a lot of time or whatever time necessary to ensure that your mud sill is perfectly level and square, the next thing that gets installed is your rim joist. But if you spent the necessary time to make sure that your mud sill is perfectly square and level, then this next step gets really easy. So the next step is that you're going to install your rim joist. And again, it's going to go around the entire perimeter of the house. But now, instead of the board laying flat like this, it's going to actually stand on end like this. So what we do is we're going to cut 2 boards that are the exact length of what the house is supposed to be built to. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut our rim joist here, and then we're going to show you how to install these, and then to install your joist, and then lastly your sheathing. This is what's called platform framing. Platform framing is the common type of construction that's done in America now. In previous decades, we did what was called balloon framing, and this is completely different. I can make another video just kind of explaining that to you at a later point in time. But if you think about this, we're going to build a platform here, and then our walls will stand on that platform, and then we're going to build another platform. So we're going to cut some rim joists real quick, and then as soon as we do that, we're going to show you how to install them. We're going to show you how to install your joist, and then we even cut some smaller subfloor. This is actually just 1/2 inch, but we'll go over that here in a minute, so that we can show you how to properly install subfloor. So we've cut our rim joist to the exact length. The way that rim joists get installed is they sit on the outermost part of your mud sill, and rim joists get face nailed through the outside, but then from the inside going down into the mud sill, they get toe nailed. There's 2 different things that you can use for these. You can use nails if you'd like, or you can use structural screws. So we typically use GRKs, which are effectively like lags. And the placement for structural screws is you got to do every 12 inches to 16 inches. What this does is it helps to prevent A, from your structure from shifting, but then number 2, what it does is it helps from any kind of uplift. Structural screws are great. Toe nailing with nails is also great. It's what we've done for a long time. Structural screws are pretty amazing though. They're a little bit more costly and obviously they take a little bit more time. I like nails a lot, but for our rim joist to our mud sill, we typically use structural screws. So again, your structural screws are you're gonna face nail here, and then you'll use structural screws, toe nailing with the screws down into your mud sill, and we'll show you that here in just a second. So we'll end up, we're just using basic wood screws here. GRKs are completely different. Again, we're just using stuff around the job site just to give you an idea. So again, rim joist gets installed on top of the mud sill. After your mud sill has been squared, your joists will get face nailed from the outside. And then if you're using structurals, every 12 to 16 inches, you're going to toe nail it from the inside, going into the mud sill, okay? If you're using nails, we usually just shoot the crap out of it. We put a ton of nails in it. So the next step is we're ready to install our joist. But the first step in installing joist is we got to pull layout. Most of the time in most houses, joists are laid out what's called 16 on center. If you look at your tape measure, every 16 will be labeled with a red label, 16, 32, 48, so on. And so the way that you're going to do this is you're going to actually hook from the outside of your rim joist, and you're going to lay your tape out, and you're going to go to every 16. But we don't mark on the 16, and the reason is when we go to sheet this, what's going to happen is our sheathing will end up laying out, and it would, if we did a 16 and then put our joist on this side, what'll end up happening is your sheet will end up falling just shy of that. But what we need it to do is break at the actual, the middle of that joist. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your 16, and then you're gonna go back 3/4 of an inch, and we usually just put a little mark and then an X, okay? And then you're gonna go to the next one, and you're gonna go to the middle, and then you're gonna go back and hit it on the X. And what that tells us is that our joist is gonna lay on that line, but the stud is gonna be to the right of it. So again, you're gonna pull layout, 16 on center. So you're gonna go to your 16, go back 3/4 of an inch or to 15 1/4, 32 to 31 1/4. So effectively now you're just gonna follow that template the entire way down. So whichever side you pull layout from, you have to do it on the same side on the other. So we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna go to the 16, we're gonna put a line and an X, just like such. But now, all you have left to do is you got to get your joist to the right size. Okay. So what John's going to do is he's going to go ahead and face nail this side before we even mess with this side. This board's cut pretty much perfectly, so it's not too bad. But if your board's a little bit snug, go ahead. He's going to face nail it from the outside. Effectively, when you're nailing from the outside, 2x4s, which you would never build a house with for your joist, we always put 2 nails in that. 2x6s, we always put 3. 2x8s, we always put 4, and so on. So for these, he's just throwing 2 nails in. The common joist, the smallest that you'll ever see is like a 2x8. But most of the time, I like to build with 2x12s because I hate a spongy floor. The cost difference from going from a 2x10 to about 2x12 is generally not that much money when you consider the entire cost of the build. If your footprint is super small, you can get by with 2x10s, but I would never build with anything smaller than that personally. Yep. So how many build with? Rim joist blocking, it's pretty straightforward. What you're gonna do is your end ones will not be exactly 14 1/2, but for every true 16 on center, so after the first one, all of these would be 14 1/2 inches if you did layout correctly. What you'll do is you'll take the blocking and you're gonna put it here, and then you're gonna shoot it from the outside, and then you're gonna shoot it from this side of the joist, and then you can also face nail it into your rim joist. What that does, if you can see, once these are all installed, it locks this joist in and doesn't allow it to turn over. Then what we're going to do as soon as we install these is we're going to show you how to put blocking mid-span. This is for bigger boards again, not 2x4s, and it's for longer spans, and it keeps the boards from turning over. Go ahead, John Boy. Now we're going to put in our mid-joist blocking, okay? And what this does, again, is just helps prevent that board from trying to turn over. The best way to do this is to get your overall length, which you're going to probably already know. We're 47.5. So all we got to do is find the center point, and we're going to chalk a line across. Okay, so now if we got 47.5, we're going to go to 23 3/4. And we're going to do this on both sides of the house. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chalk a line across the house. After you have your chalk line, it gets really easy. You're going to measure your span between all of your joists. This middle one should obviously be 14.5. That one's 13 3/4, and this one is whatever's left over. And you're going to cut a block for each of those, and then what you're going to do is you're going to install that blocking so that it falls on each side of this line. So this first one will be on this side of the line, the next one will be on this side of the line, the next one will be on this side of the line. Yep. Don't you get there? Yep. Go ahead. Got mud sill squared, rim joist installed, face nailed from the outside, toe nailed from the inside. Before we start installing our joists, we pull corner to corner again to ensure that we didn't get out of square. After that, we pull layout. We go to the 16 and then come back 3/4 of an inch, put a line in an X, and we do that the entire run of the platform. We then repeat the process on the other side. Then we cut our joists and we put them into place. They get face nailed from the outside. Cut blocking for your rim joist between every joist. Find the halfway point of whatever the span is, chalk a line, and then you're going to install blocking on each side of that line, alternating every other bay. The next step is we just got sheathing. And then after sheathing, your platform is built.